last week I read an article titled, "Hey Designers, They're Gaslighting You," and I have never felt so seen from an article before that I just had to bookmark it, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. This article deals with the kind of terms or experiences a lot of designers have, not just in UX, but things that they've heard in order to try to communicate their value. So things like you need to justify your seat at the table, you need to prove your worth, you need to prove your value so that people know what you're doing, what your role is. And I feel like a lot of designers have kind of heard the same things over and over again in their career, and this article does a really good job in explaining why that is detrimental to you and why that just kind of puts all of the blame on the designer themselves. The one line that really kind of sums it up for me from this article was, "You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink." And it's just such a good summary of what working in design could be like. Like a few months ago, I was reading a book called Articulating Design Decisions, and it's a great resource. It's a great book. It gives you a lot of tips. But in the back of my mind, whenever I was reading that book, I just thought like, well, you can be the most articulate designer. You can have so much experience, like years, you can have decades of experience, you can be super opinionated with amazing storytelling skills, and you can even be backing all of your decisions up with research and data. But if someone doesn't want to care about what you have to say, they just won't care. Like, there's nothing you can do about it if that's already what someone has set their mind to. However, I think there's a lot of talk and almost like this expectation when you walk into a design job that you have to be there to convince stakeholders about how important UX is. And like, if it doesn't work, then in reality it's not really your fault. And I think a lot of that is made to seem like it's the designer's fault. Like, if you can't convince your stakeholders that UX is important, or that design is important, that research and testing are important, it means you failed as a designer, and it means that you're not good at your job, when in reality sometimes the person that you're talking to just doesn't want to care. Like, that's just what it is. And I think this article does like a really good job at explaining and articulating that, and also giving like a bunch of examples that are super relatable to designers in many different fields. I think you should read this article. That's just basically what I'm saying. Like, I think every designer should read this article, bookmark it, and also I would recommend you guys read the comments and see the experiences of other designers and what they're willing to share, because I felt so validated, and it just really put into perspective and summed up really nicely that at the end of the day, you have to care about yourself and you have to care about your mental health, and sometimes it's just really not worth it. And I think this came at a really perfect time for me in my life, because a few months ago I turned 30, and something started in July where everything after that it just like made sense. Like, I have such a clear understanding and a confidence in who I am and where I want to go, who I want to be, and what I'm willing to accept into my life. And I feel like this article just really kind of bolsters that up and makes me feel even more confident that I've made like the right decisions for me and what is going to help me in the long run. So I just think this is a really great article, and I really think you guys should give it a read too. Plugging in my mic. So I'm not using my laptop to do super peer calls anymore. I just set everything up on my PC, which is really nice because I've always wanted to I've always kind of played around with the idea of starting streaming, and having this whole setup and knowing that I can use my PC in that way is just like, okay, I have everything. If I ever want to start streaming like UI design, or maybe just like chatting or something like that, I can if I wanted to. I just need to like figure out how to like manage everything. So I'm watching Contenders while I get ready, but I think I just need a couple more things. I really need like a better way to manage my cables. I promised my husband that I would finish all of the heavy cream that we bought a few weeks ago, and today I'm going to be making rosé tteokbokki with it. We don't actually have any rice cake right now, so I'm going to be using udon instead. Almost to the point where we can put the sauce in, which is great because my hand is actually cramping from using the chopsticks to stir. So, okay, let's switch these up.
Falling to pieces in our room. Outside, take a little ride if you want to. That's cool. I did what I was supposed to. There's nothing left for me to do.
So today I have a meeting coming up in about 10 minutes where I'm just getting a review or a demo of a product, and then I have a chance to ask questions. Then I have a sync with my project team, and afterwards I'm going to work on some IA. I've been doing a lot of user research and doing some like interviews and card sorting exercises, which have been really fun in the past week or two. So I'm going to take all of the findings from there and then use them to reimagine the IA for the product.
So now I'm poking out my head through open windows, 'cause that's what I feel like. Do it tonight. Waking up my brain, maybe you can do the same thing. You want me to say something, I come up with nothing. Maybe we can talk until we figure out a topic. Been so long in my head, caught up in my feelings. I've been waiting for something new to happen. And when it happens, I'll be dancing on the lawn when it happens. When it
For the rest of the afternoon, I'm going to spend some time coming up with questions that I want to ask our engineering team. We're working on a feature and I need to do like a technical discovery so that I can understand what's possible within our app so that I can make sure I'm designing a good experience that can still exist and be feasible for our engineers. And that has to do a lot with just like how things are set up on the back end, how things have been set up previously, and just like what kind of constraints do I have when designing a solution. Also, I have this thing where if I like a song, I'll just obsessively loop over it for pretty much until I'm sick of it. And right now it's the new Jujutsu Kaisen opening. I think it's so good. I only watch the anime when it comes to JJK, so I don't know a lot of what is happening. I feel like I've been getting spoilers on TikTok, but I just try to like scroll past it as much as I can. But I've also been taking time to rewatch JJK from season 1 because I feel like a lot of the curse techniques and just like the powers in JJK, I just like, it kind of flew over my head. I totally thought it was going to be one of those Inuyasha kind of animes where it's like find the shards, find the fingers, and for a while, like with season 2, it's been so long since I watched them that I totally forgot about that plot point. So yeah, that's kind of like what else I'm doing. Tomorrow we're actually gonna go visit my parents, so I thought I would make some tea eggs for us to have and so I can give it to them when we see them. this, I'm waiting for it to get to a boil and then I can turn this off. Now, what would make it actually boil faster is that I stop stirring. I don't know about you guys, but I always have like this habit of wanting to kind of mess with the thing that I'm cooking, and like I'm constantly stirring and stuff. Sometimes I just like need to leave it alone. Actually, while I wait, maybe I'll just do a slight tour. So I do have these kitchen lights that I decided to turn on today just to help with the lighting here. If I turn them off, which is usually what we do, then you just have the grow lights that I have for all the plants on the wall, and that's just kind of how things end up looking. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and peel these, which I actually am a little nervous about because these never turn out pretty for me, and it's probably because I don't use an ice bath, but they just never look as nice as they do. Like, I always take off a little bit of the egg white with the shell, but that's fine because it comes from the heart, is what I like to say. If you look at the bottom, it looks fine, but then you get like stuff like this.